Begin with that damaging winter weather. Tens of millions of Americans are under weather alerts today as a strong winter storm moves into the Northeast. Over the weekend, a so-called bomb cyclone, which is a storm that rapidly intensifies, dumped heavy snow in the Midwest and Great Lakes, creating dangerous blizzard conditions in parts of Minnesota. Traffic stopped on Interstate 35, and Governor Tim Walz called the National Guard to help crews deal with hundreds of crashes. Across the border in Iowa, a whiteout caused treacherous conditions, including in the ironically named city of Clear Lake. It's pretty hard to see there. And in Illinois, the cold weather developed into suspected tornadoes, ripping apart several homes. CBS News national weather correspondent Rob Marciano has more on the brutal conditions and their impact across the country.
Across the upper Midwest, up to a foot of fresh snow and winds howling at 60 miles an hour, creating treacherous travel from North Dakota to Iowa.
Lots of spinouts. We just passed an accident over here. It's slippery.
Minnesota State Patrol says more than 300 cars slid off roads and highways in Sunday's blizzard. Multiple accidents on Interstate 35, prompting transportation officials to shut down a 140-mile-long stretch overnight from central Iowa to southern Minnesota.
People, again, just driving too fast for the conditions and not heeding warnings.
It was a nightmare. I mean, that's just the best way to put it. I mean, you see people that this is my community.
The storm's powerful cold front smashing into spring-like temperatures near 70 degrees, triggering tornadoes in central Illinois. One of them carving a path of destruction near Mount Zion, damaging at least a dozen homes and tearing off several roofs, leaving Lieutenant Scott Flannery stunned by the destruction.
To actually get on scene thinking it's going to be just some power lines that are down, and turn out that we have people that are losing their homes tonight.
And in the Northeast, as a new storm system heads in, another from over the weekend turned roads into a sheet of ice in Massachusetts, causing this van to roll over south of Boston and dumped more than 4 inches of snow in New York City, the heaviest winter storm since 2022.
And Rob Marciano joins us now from Harbor Island Park, north of New York City, with a look at the current forecast. Rob, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Lindsay. We're here's some of that snow that we got in New York City over the past few days. It's raining now and obviously very, very foggy. We're in the warm sector of that storm, but just north of here, north of Albany and parts of northern Vermont, they got an ice storm warning that's happening because of this overrunning some of the colder air that's up there. So this storm has everything to it, as you mentioned, a rapidly intensifying cyclone where the pressures drop 24 millibars in atmospheric pressure in 24 hours. That's the technical term of it, give or take, depending on the latitude. And you see the low right now is heading into Canada. Blizzard conditions on the backside of this, damaging winds on the front side with the severe weather threat down across the southern part where they've had those record-breaking temperatures over the past really 2 weeks. And this is going to bring an end to that. So there you see all the winter weather alerts, a lot of pinks, a lot of colors in the map. That is never a good sign. And not only with the frozen precipitation that we're going to have to contend with this, but the winds are going to be the other thing. So there you see the low moving up into eastern Canada. We'll see lake effect snows continue to ramp up as the colder air filters in behind this, and that will add another 6 to 12, maybe more than that, inches of snowfall from places Buffalo south and Syracuse north in those typical spots, and then also leave the of Lake Michigan there on the state of Michigan. A lot of colors on the wind map as well. Winds gusting 40, 45, 50, maybe as much as 60 miles an hour, and that'll do some damage. It'll be very difficult to travel in, not only in the air but on the ground. High-profile vehicles will be getting blown around, and with those wind gusts, and there you see all the alerts. Air travel is going to be a bit of a mess today, and as you know, holiday travel continues to be a situation here as we head towards the new year. Lindsay?
Man, we keep putting you on this snow. Your vocal cords are protesting.
They are. They'll come back eventually, I hope.
I want to get
Everyone's
this man
sick right now.
some hot tea. Rob Marciano, thank you so much. And as Rob was saying, that wild winter weather is causing massive delays and cancellations at airports across the country amid this record-setting travel weekend. Here's a current look at the flight conditions. So the biggest problem areas, of course, in the Northeast, with some delays out of the Midwest and in Florida. CBS News correspondent Shanelle Kaul reports from Newark Liberty International Airport.
So let's start with places that could cause some problems if you are flying out today. Milwaukee and Minneapolis. We're seeing some small issues there, some delays still lingering from this weekend's inclement weather. Further east, we're seeing some high winds around the Great Lakes, all the way from Detroit to Buffalo. That could bring you some trouble as well. And then in the Northeast, there are roads in eastern New York and some parts of New England that are pretty messy. There are some problems there with icy conditions, so you want to be aware of that. The timing here also really key, because all of this is coming as the TSA is saying it expects to break records this year, screening more than 44 million people at airport checkpoints between December 19th and January 4th. Yesterday, the TSA had said it expected that to be its busiest day of this holiday season, but it says we could also see some new records broken here at airports just like Newark and across the country when it comes to the number of people screened through these airport checkpoints. Here at Newark, things are improving. I was here over the weekend where we saw some big problematic, massive delays and cancellations. Today, there are still some minor delays and cancellations on the board, but things are getting better. If you are flying out today, tomorrow, or later on this week, again, remember to get here nice and early and bring your real ID and passport so you can get through airport lineups like this one behind me a little bit faster. Back to you.
All right, Shanelle, Kaul, thank you.